Ah, the medieval inn, a haven for weary travelers, a sanctuary for pilgrims, and a breeding ground for dysentery. If you've ever dreamed of experiencing the Middle Ages in all their gritty, unwashed glory, look no further than your local inn. Assuming it hasn't burned down yet, because let's face it, medieval fire safety was about as reliable as a drunkard's promise to pay his tab. Upon arrival, you'll be greeted by the innkeeper, a man whose smile is as genuine as a three-legged horse. He'll assure you that his establishment is the finest in the land, conveniently omitting the fact that the land in question is a swampy backwater where the only other option is sleeping in a ditch. Don't be fooled by his charm. This is the same man who will charge you extra for a blanket and then sell your horse to a passing merchant while you're asleep. The common room is the heart of the inn, a place where travelers from all walks of life come together to share stories, swap lies, and occasionally stab each other over a game of dice. The air is thick with the scent of sweat, smoke, and something unidentifiable but undoubtedly foul. The floor is a patchwork of rushes, which may sound quaint until you realize they haven't been changed since the Black Death and are now home to a thriving ecosystem of fleas and mold. Bon appétit. As you settle in, you'll be offered the inn's signature dish, a steaming bowl of mystery stew. What's in it, you ask? Well, that depends on what the cook found in the forest that morning. Could be rabbit, could be squirrel, could be the previous guest who couldn't pay his bill. Either way, it's best not to ask too many questions. Just sprinkle some stale bread on top and pray to St. Anthony, the patron saint of lost causes and questionable cuisine. Now, let's talk about the sleeping arrangements. If you're lucky, you'll get a spot on a wooden bench near the fire. If you're really lucky, you'll get a bed, a term used loosely to describe a pile of straw that may or may not have been recently vacated by a goat. Privacy is non-existent, so prepare to share your space with at least 3 other people, all of whom snore like a bear with a head cold. And don't even think about complaining. The innkeeper will just shrug and say, "You wanted an authentic medieval experience, didn't you?" Of course, no visit to a medieval inn would be complete without sampling the ale. Brewed in a barrel that doubles as a bathtub, this delightful beverage is guaranteed to knock you sideways, partly because of its alcohol content and partly because of the unidentified floaties. But hey, at least it's safer than the water, which is basically just cholera in liquid form. As the night wears on, you'll be serenaded by the sounds of the inn, the clinking of tankards, the raucous laughter of drunkards, and the occasional scream as someone discovers that the chicken in their stew was actually the inn's missing cat. It's a symphony of chaos, a cacophony of calamity, and you'll be grateful when dawn finally breaks and you can flee this wretched hive of scum and villainy. So, the next time you find yourself complaining about modern hotels, the thin walls, the overpriced minibar, the Wi-Fi that's slower than a snail on a treadmill, just remember, it could be worse. You could be staying at a medieval inn where the only thing harder than the bread is the bed, and the only thing sharper than the knives is the innkeeper's wit. Cheers to progress, my friends. Cheers to progress.